Asmat Gurubhyo Namaha, Asmat Parama Gurubhyo Namaha, Asmat Sarva Gurubhyo Namaha, Shri Krishna Parabrahmane Namaha, Shri Lakshmi Nrsimha Parabrahmane Namaha, Shri Lakshmi Hayavadana Parabrahmane Namaha, Sarvam Shri Krishna Arpanamastu. Just give me a second. Sorry for the delay. Will be interesting. Am I in the right? I don't understand this. Just a second, please. Okay. Hello. Can you hear me properly?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Namaskaram, Krishna.
Namaskaram, namaskaram. It has been a while. I've been pretty sick for most of the last 10-15 days. So just getting back.
I am also not doing well.
Oh. So who is this Sampath? We have not, I have not seen.
Sorry, sorry, it is me. You can't hear me?
I can hear you. Oh, no, I know.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm traveling, so I'm talking to you on my phone.
Okay, no problem. No problem. Perfect. All right.
Okay,
now we will go back to the class. Let me look at sharing.
Have you come back, Krishna?
What did you say?
Have you come back, Bangalore?
No, not yet. Not yet. Next, sometimes around 10th or something, I'll be there.
Okay.
Okay, let me just check my. Okay, here it is. I'm going to share my screen. You can see my screen?
Yes, we can see and we can hear you.
Very good. Very good. So the thing is, I just, for some people, just repeating my methodology, which you already know. See, because we do 3 systems, it's a little bit complicated. You know why? I think for me, suddenly if I say, okay, on this Pratibodha Viditam Matam, Amritatvam hi vindhate, the Kena Upaniṣad, what could be Śaṅkarācārya's view? What could be Rāmānujācārya's view? What could be Madhvācārya's view? Immediately, if you think about it, you need some verification, right? you have to go back to the Vyakhyana and see, oh, this is what Śaṅkarācārya thinks. This is what he thinks, right? So that can complicate understanding very much, because nobody does 3 systems, but we are trying to do it. So it is a very hard process we are going through, and I can realize that. I'm so surprised you are all still here. Some of them left earlier, but the thing is, you're still continuing to be in this class. That amazes me. So, for me, unless I get that kind of understanding, oh, why should I just because my grandfather agreed with Rāmānujācārya, should I agree with Rāmānujācārya? See, this particular system is very interesting, right? I'm sure some of you here will understand this better. See, in some historical, in some kind of systems, monotheistic systems, if you're born into a particular system, you're that, right? Most people for born into Islam cannot give up Islam. The reason is that is known as apostasy. And in some countries, apostasy means that person who leaves Islam can be killed. In fact, it is a law that person has to be killed. Maybe the person will be given a chance to come back, chance to what do you call, accept the sin, accept the mistake, that the person should not have left Islam. So that can exist somewhere. For me, should not take anybody's view, my grandfather's view or somebody's view, just because I was born in this family. I should not take that kind of a view. I should think for myself independently. This is a very fundamental viewpoint. This is where probably people who are following this channel are different from the other people, right? Some of the other people, I just want to hear one thing, one system, and there ends the matter. Coming back, another point I want to remind you is you need to do homework. Contemplation at home is very important. Otherwise, you will not understand the what we are studying here. And in every week, go question yourself. Do I understand Kena Upaniṣad properly? Do I understand it properly? What is the real view of the Rishi? You have to think about it. And that is why we come back over and over again, non-linearly. That is not just, will not go linearly in one shot, right? We come back and check. Did we understand this? Come back and check. This is important. So it's just not memorization, but understanding. And as the famous Paramātmā Yogananda says, we should avoid indigestion. What does it mean? Reading a lot of material and not digesting it. That is indigestion. And I have to thank all of you for sure that you are helping me understand better, because if I had not taught anybody else like you, I could not have understood all these things. So thanks a lot to everyone. Now, let's go further. Are you in sync with what I said till now?
Very true. If there are nobody to hear, there will be no good teachers.
No, yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, the next one second. It's not slipping. Okay. This is Kena Upaniṣad, the first section. We already finished this. The second section is this. In that, we are worried about the last shlok in a way. We are worried about this Pratibodha viditam matam amritatvam hi vindate atmana vindate viryam vidyaya vindate amritam. What I will do is I will break the meaning of the shloka into two classes. Today we will be presenting a lot of introduction to the shloka. Tomorrow, at the same time, we will complete the shloka meaning, because there is a lot of material. There is probably about 55 slides worth of material. I can only finish about 20-25 slides today. The rest of the slides I will finish tomorrow. And the simple meaning here is the Pratibodha viditam, that which is known by Pratibodha. Matam is view. Amritatvam hi vindate. He will attain amritatva or immortality. Atmana vindate viryam. From Atma you get Virya. Virya is tenacity, continuation, how to continue with this whole process of Upāsanā. Vidyaya vindate amritam. Through Vidya, one attains Amrita. So in this particular, Kena Upaniṣad verse, a simple view of Vidyā is given. That is, Vidyā is Upāsanā. And what does Pratibodha means? This is the big issue. Because Pratibodha means something else for Śaṅkarācārya. It means something else for the Vishishtadvaita Sampradaya. So this is what we are trying to understand. What Sampathayangar does is, he maps the idea of Upāsanā from the Bhagavad Gītā and brings it into Kena Upaniṣad. Because he says there cannot be disagreement between this Upanishad and that Upanishad. It has to sink in proper way. That's his view. And even in Bhagavad Gītā, whatever Upāsanā is mentioned, that should stay in the Upanishads all along. So his whole idea is like that. So these are the verses we are going to focus. We need a little bit an understanding of the first verse, 2.3, but I think we have done enough of it. 2.4 is the most important thing. So before that, we come back and try to understand how is Śaṅkarācārya's view here and his view of Samādhi. The main problem is the concept of Samādhi in Śaṅkarācārya and the concept of Samādhi in Vishishtadvaita, they seem to be different. And this particular aspect will become clearer and clearer, because in the tomorrow's class, at the end, I will cite from Viṣṇu Purana and Bhagavata some important aspect of Samādhi given in those two works, which will support a different view of Samādhi as opposed to Śaṅkarācārya's view of Samādhi. So this is where we go. And to build the case to that end, we need a lot of background. So Samādhi, in the Śaṅkarācārya's understanding of Samādhi, the feeling of I am free. Why? Atma is disconnected to external universe. So Atma is free. Atma is one. And because I is same as Paramātmā for Śaṅkarācārya. So identity with God is a prerequisite. And that becomes the goal. And that is the absolute. What does absolute mean? Can anyone say what does word absolute means?
That has no conditions.
No conditions means what? It has no conditions. Suppose there are no conditions. What is the value of absolute? Changeless. That means the state of absoluteness means that does not change whatsoever. Whatever happens, that doesn't change. That is the final. And from there is no coming back. So these three are inbuilt in the Śaṅkarācārya's view. On the other hand, in what you call, you cannot avoid in the Īśāvāsya also that God is to be meditated upon, and he is the Swami. Swami means he is the ruler. Īśāvāsyam means he is the ruler. Swami. Suhrita, he is a friend also. And so what should happen in the Śaṅkarācārya's view? The praying or meditating self has to become one with that goal of Ishvara. And there is the personal reliance on. Śaṅkarācārya said, this is my experience. And in the Brahma Sutra Bhasha, he says, oh, this is my experience. That's what I have found. So Sampathanga says the Vishishtadvaita view here is there will be constant awareness of the aspirant and also Brahman, that is God, Ishvara, in a super state that is beyond Samādhi. Maybe at a particular stage, everything sort of looks similar and one or something like that, but that will go beyond. And then only that awareness of Ishvara is always there. So that is the difference in the Upāsanā krama of Vishishtadvaita. And that is proven as per this the Sampathanga, that the whole of Īśāvāsya Upaniṣad proves it, and the whole of Bhagavad Gītā proves it. And that's an important thing to understand. Why does it prove? How does it prove? You have to do contemplation and be clear about it. So once, if you don't have any books in front of you, you're sitting somewhere, you should have in your picture, in your mind, okay, this is what Bhagavad Gītā is saying. This is what Īśāvāsya Upaniṣad is saying. That exactly matches up with what we are going to study in the Kena Upaniṣad. Because Kena Upaniṣad will not go against Īśāvāsya Upaniṣad. The Upanishads have similar view. Language is different among the different Upanishads. But finally, the goal idea is similar, method of Upāsanā is similar. And of course, they're coming from different rishis. Śaṅkarācārya says he has aparoksha, or immediate knowledge of oneself. And that aparoksha is not final, according to Sampathanga. But there may be a divinization of the self. That means the self becomes like divine. So the Samādhi should be understood in the yogic sense. How do we understand Samādhi in the Īśāvāsya Upaniṣad properly? Because that is the immediate Upanishad behind Kena Upaniṣad. And here, if you understand it properly, that is connected, that is in the Vajasneya Samhita, that is also connected to the Karma Kanda of the Vedas. So let us look at verses 12 to 14 of Īśāvāsya Upaniṣad again. Just review it. We already studied this, but we're going to review a little bit because we have to come to the real understanding of what is this Pratibodha Vidita. Otherwise, the word Pratibodha will not be visible to us. That is, the meaning of the word Pratibodha will not become clear to us. Now, before we go to 12, 13, 14, we have to understand what this Anantamah Pravishanti Avidyām upasate tatabhuya eva ivate tamo ya u vidyāyām rataha. That is verse 9 of the Īśāvāsya. 9, 10, 11. Anya deva ahuhu vidyaya, anya ahuhu avidyaya, iti Viṣṇu madhīrāṇam yena stadvyacha chakshire. Vidyancha avidyancha yastadveda ubhayam saha avidyaya mrityum tirtva vidyaya amritam ashnute. Here one simple thing you need to remember clearly is Vidyā means meditation on God, on Ishvara, on Paramātmā. And Avidyā means karma, all the associated duties connected with it. And these two are not against each other. Both are necessary to attain the true form of Upāsanā. That's a clear meaning of this. And that is clarified further here. We, for people who want to go deeper, you can look into all those things, right? So the just a second. So these paths don't, Vidya and Avidya should not be separated. They should be together. That we have already gone through. So Vidya means incessant and blissful meditation. That is Vidya. And this can be related to the Ashtanga Yoga. In the Ashtanga Yoga is, in the meditation portion of the Ashtanga Yoga means Dharana, Dhyana, Samādhi. Samādhi is the culmination. And that what is this culmination? We will go deeper. But all these three, Dharana, Dhyana, Samādhi, together are known as Samyama. So for meditation to be a true means of salvation, the experience of Samādhi must be understood theistically, meaning the sense of being a knower and the experiencer is kept alive continuously even after the meditative states end. So thing is, the knower is still there all along. That is the key for the Upāsanā. So Avidyā means not ignorance, but a positive culture, which includes work, body related, and it transcends body consciousness, and work becomes duty, and work becomes moral conscience, and also involves self-negation, that is renunciation, that you can do it. So the pure consciousness of duty is Avidyā, and duty is awareness of the impersonal altruistic ordinance of the universal Lord, who has given a law for people to follow according to their own capacity based on their birth, caste, jati, karma, and stage of life, ashrama. So depending on the situation people are, they have a natural duty, and that all culminates in pleasing the Lord, keeping the Lord as center, because he is powering everything as we speak. And that power is clearly explained in the Kena Upaniṣad, right? Because Kena ishitam patati pretitam preshitam manaha, my mind works because of the Lord. My breath works because of the Lord. So that is very clear in the Kena Upaniṣad. Because such a Lord is verily making you live every second of your life. You dedicate all actions to that true Lord who is in control. So that is clear. So Vidyā is meditation on the omniscient, omnipotent, and omnipresent. And that is the first 8 verses of the Īśāvāsya. If you have to flow, that is, if you have to maintain continuous flow of thought on the Lord, your mind should be subservient. Otherwise, what happens? Mind will deflect, mind will distract you away from focus on the Lord, and it goes all over. So the mind should become subservient to the intellect, and hence your reason, intuition, and everything should be directed towards Samādhi, Dhyana and Samādhi, where focus is unbroken. For that, your reason should help you to avoid distraction. So this is what whole of Upāsanā is about. The next 3 verses in the Īśāvāsya Upaniṣad talks about, so Vidyā is, what did we summarize here? Vidyā is meditation on the Lord, supported by all the activities you are supposed to do to be sincere and to recognize Ishvara in every act of your life. That's clear. Now, what is this Sambhūti Asambhūti? We have already studied it. We just remind ourselves to focus so that we can get the right background before even we think about the word Pratibodha. Andam tamah pravishanti asambhuti upasate. So asambhuti, pure asambhuti will lead to darkness. So even focus on sambhuti will lead to darkness. It is different from pure paths of sambhuti and asambhuti. You have to combine sambhuti and vinasha. Asambhuti is said as vinasha. So you have to know both together. Vinashena mrityam tetva sambhuti amritam ashnate. This is very important. That is sambhuti and asambhuti. We will now study this again. Now, I have already indicated here, or just included here, the rest of the verses of the Īśāvāsya Upaniṣad. So I'll in fact give you the structure of Upāsanā right here in the Īśāvāsya Upaniṣad. First thing is Vidyā, Avidyā. So Vidyā is the right path. That is the focus on the Lord. Then the Sambhūti, Asambhūti comes up. So Sambhūti, Asambhūti are important aspects of Upāsanā or meditation. But the meditation continues. How does it continue? Hiranmayena patrena satyasya apihitam mukham. How much ever I try by myself, the Rajogunas is obstructing my view of the Lord. Tattvam pushan apavrano. Oh, nourisher of everybody, oh Lord Ishvara, take this disturbance or obstacle away. Satya dharmaya drishtaye, so that I can see you properly. Pushane karshe amasurya prajapatya vyuha rashmin samuha tejaha ete rupam kalyanatamam rupam tate pashami osao purusha soham asmi. Here we assume that God has given him some vision. So I am seeing you, your wonderful form. Yosav asa purusha soham asmi. That great purusha is me. And the me still continues. But that is feeling, when that power of Paramātmā is inside, felt inside, you're feeling that you are energized. This is the whole idea of Anugraha Upāsanā. The Anugraha Upāsanā, Asmi is in the present tense. Aham Asmi means what? I'm in present tense. I continue to exist as you. You and I continuously exist together. We are one in a way. What does that mean? Anugraha. Because the very fact that I am saying I exist, it is because of your power within me. We are so intrinsically related. You are my power. That is the meaning which should be taken here, not the meaning given in pure Advaita, which says you have become one with each other, and I is gone, and the universe is gone. Only one exists. That does not come here. Otherwise, this word aham asmi does not work properly. This we will see in detail when we understand what is Anugraha Upāsanā, which is explained in the Chandogya. And the same Anugraha Upāsanā is explained in the same Īśāvāsya in the prior verses. What are the prior verses? Right before we had this. The prior verses is Andam Tamah Asambhūti Sambhūti. This Asambhūti Sambhūti verses explain to you what is known as Anugraha Upāsanā. We understand Brahman as I, Aham. Let me ask you a question here, right? This is very important, and you have to really clearly understand this concept. Why does the word I come when we are looking at Paramātmā, who is different? Anyone? Can anyone say, why do we even talk about Paramātmā? And why do you talk about I as I? When we know that Ishvara is not me, Ishvara is the creator of this universe, and I am I am trying to meditate on that Ishvara, then why should this I concept come up? Anyone?
Only when the I vanishes, like I can see the Paramātmā.
When the I vanishes means?
The I should not be there. I should not be there, or slowly the I will disappear, and then I will see Paramātmā.
Okay. See, the thing is here, why does the very concept of I, even the topic of I even come up when the worship is for Paramātmā? So the thing is,
we are naturally outward thinking. We are always focused on the what's happening in the outside through our senses. When somebody refers to this I, so the person tries to go inside or become inwards.
Okay.
So the focus, the direction of focus changes. So that is one of the main purposes of this.
See, this goes beyond. You cannot get away from yourself, right? You are the knower. You are the meditator. You are the experience of pleasure and pain in this universe. You are stuck in this matter. You are stuck in your body, unable to get out of this body. Whether the body has headache or whether the body has old age or what do you call inability, disease, whatever it is, you cannot get out of this body. So the feeling of I is always inbuilt in you. Number one. Number two, where do you find God outside? In temples? If you are very happy with temples and you find God completely in temples, if you go to a temple, you can never come out of that temple. Do you agree with this? I want you to think very clearly about this. Suppose you completely see God in a temple. If you enter the temple, you will be unable to come out of the temple. Think about it. Am I making sense to you?
That is true, 100%. When I find God there, I don't want to leave that I am there. I will be there always.
Because there is nothing else is more important. There is no house for you. There is no relative for you. All bliss and ananda, happiness is complete in the temple itself. How do the other people, other than Champaka Mami, what do you think? Any thoughts from other people?
The
Do you
definition,
understand this point?
the definition of how or how one perceives God, when somebody says God, or in whatever language, in whatever word, how they perceive it itself should be questioned first before we say whether he is in temple or not.
No. What I'm saying is, no. Don't think that way. You didn't understand my few words, what I spoke in the last few minutes. Suppose you completely realize God in a temple. Please understand this. Complete realization of God has occurred to you the moment you enter a temple. Suppose it happens. Can you get out of the temple after that? There is no halfway in between my perception of God, your perception. That's not there. Whatever that God is, you have completely realized it when you visited a temple. Suppose it happens. Can you get out? You cannot. Because that is the...
Can I say something?
Yeah, who is this?
This is Wayne.
Wayne, tell me.
Well, I may be off track of your question, but I consider myself a drop of water, like a drop of water in the ocean. So the Jivatma is just a drop of water in the ocean of Paramātmā. And so as far as whether if I'm in the temple, which actually I do this once a week, I go to the temple and spend an hour meditating before Arti at noon because there's not many people there. But I see God in the temple, but I see God everywhere. I see God in everything. So I don't need to be in the temple to see God, but I go to the temple because that's what God wants me to do.
Okay.
And so I do that. It's just a different venue for my Upāsanā.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that's my take. That's just my perspective.
Yeah.
Anyway,
See what happens is when you see, the thing is, what do you call, when you say you go to the temple to see God, fine. And then at the same time you see God in yourself, everywhere, anywhere. If this feeling is perfected, okay, you'll be unable to do anything else. You'll be all alone, completely realized, and you'll be in bliss. What I'm trying to say here is, when you go to a temple, you're actually seeing God in a particular pratima or archamurti. Okay, that is still chit, achit. Achit means insentient. That is the archamurti or the sculpture or this one, that is insentient. And in that you are seeing Paramātmā. What I mean is, if that is complete, so see, the thing is, you will not look further if it's complete. What I'm saying is, the level of Upāsanā will be so complete that you will feel nothing else. You cannot sit down after that. Okay, I will ask you, Mr. Vainji, I will ask you a question. Do you watch TV anytime? So you go to the temple,
No.
you come back home. Do you watch TV?
I don't watch TV. No. I haven't turned it on in probably 15 years.
Okay, do you do anything else for fun? Anything else?
I study scripture. That's my fun. I love
Okay,
it.
other than scriptures.
I do meditation.
Other than meditation.
No, I get up, I fix breakfast, I feed the cats, I meditate for an hour, then I jump right into studying something. I have several different things I'm doing for
Okay.
spiritual study, and I spend the rest of my day doing that.
Do you have bliss 100% all the time?
I get happier every day.
Why is
There's no limit.
happier? Okay, the thing is that same
I
as
get more
bliss?
blissful every day, every minute, every second. There's no limit.
Okay. Then you are somewhere up there, man. There's no doubt. But what this Upanishad is saying is, for ordinary people, they have to go through a process of Upāsanā. And in this Upāsanā, first they have to go through Brahman as the inner controller of the universe. That is Achit Shariraka Paramātmā Upāsanā. And then they have to go through a process of Chit Shariraka Paramātmā Upāsanā. That is Brahman as the controller of Jivatma. Because they have to see the power making you work. That means it's not understanding, they're feeling it constantly. And it's much beyond feeling. And they have to go through a third process known as Swatma Shariraka Paramātmā Upāsanā. The third process is, he is the inner controller of you in particular. And you cannot exist without him. You will not be able to feed the cat, by the way. Cat doesn't exist for you. Feed the cat comes only because you have a body. And here you will have to do it. You will have to do all karma yoga. So that is a portion of karma yoga. That is fine. There is no issue. That's not wrong, by the way. It's not wrong. But the thing is, I doubt if somebody is in Samādhi, they will not be able to do any action. So if somebody is in total Samādhi, In fact, this is a problem which comes up in philosophy. In the 6th chapter at the end, Vedanta Deshika says, while be in Samadhi, you can give up your religious daily rituals like doing Sandhya Vandanadi. Sandhya Vandana means there's morning prayers, evening prayers and all. There's what is Vihita or what is prescribed in the Shastras for a particular set of people, right? Those kind of duties you don't have to do because you cannot do. The famous example is Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, which happened recently, right? In the last 100+ years. He was trying to do Pitrakarya or the duty for the dead mother. While the priest was giving him water into his hands, Achyutaya Namaha, Anantaya Namaha, Govinda Namaha, something. After Achyutaya Namaha, his fingers went into some state where the water flew and he could not even sip it. Why? Because he became totally engrossed in Achyuta Brahman. So their action stopped there. So if the Samadhi is complete, action stops. During the time you are allowed to defy or flout the Shastra Vakya, Aharaha Sandhyam Kurvita, every morning, every evening, you have to do Sandhyam. Now, those rules don't apply at that particular time. But if you come back from Samadhi, in an ordinary life, those rules will apply. So whoever is breathing, whoever is in action, they have to do Sandhya Vandana and all these rituals, whatever is according to your birth and Varanas and everything like that, whatever is prescribed for you. For you, it may be even feeding the cat. It could be even helping somebody who is in trouble in front of you, kind of thing. That is service to humanity, service to others, they're all fine. But if somebody is in pure Samadhi, they cannot come out of it. They cannot do any action. So this Upanishad is talking about that level of Samadhi. Upanishad is talking about that where in the Archamurti, like how the great sages saw Parabrahman. That is the highest level of bhakti-yoga. And those people who are known as the Alvars. Alvars saw Paramātmā right there. And then that was nothing. In fact, I will mention this tomorrow. Nammalvar says in one of the 1.7.10, now that I have found you, I will glorify you forever without stop. I will never, he says, I will never stop. See, that feeling is not just words. He really means it. That means he has nowhere to go get out of that point. That glorification comes naturally in that state. So are we at that state constantly? That is the highest level of Samadhi. So these are preparatory. So Īśāvāsya Upaniṣad, what it's saying is, it is preparatory. And Vainji, don't take this as a offense or anything like that. I didn't mean to offend you. I am thinking the Upanishads mention a state which is ordinarily non-attainable, not so easily. And such a person will get knowledge of everything. If that's sarvajñatva, knowing everything around you, knowing even the vijñānas. Vijñānas means how the jivatma connects to the body, how the chakras work, how everything works, how atom works. Anything in this universe, everything will be known to that kind of aspirant. That is a little hard to understand, but you may have that. I don't know. So I will never say somebody does not have that kind of a realization. So sorry if I even meant it that way. That is wrong. But
May I add anything? Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. When you get through, I have a few questions.
I'm fine. Tell me.
Yeah, I'm just trying to respond. But I consider myself that I've basically accepted Śaraṇāgati. So I consider myself my 100% total purpose for eating, breathing, or existing is to serve God. So to serve God, I have to listen to God. So when I do actions or karma, I don't do it thinking I'm doing karma. I'm just doing what I think God wants me to do. It's a feeling. I don't know. I can't, explain it. It's not something that's explainable. But so everything I do, and then I get, when I'm doing something, even something that's not necessarily spiritual, I get ideas and solutions that certainly didn't come from me. But like my routine of doing at least an hour of deep meditation, which I start off, identifying or accepting in the infinity of Paramātmā, and then kind of get, meditate on all of what makes up Paramātmā, who he is. And then I go to Jīvātmā, and then how it all connects to my mind and intellect. So I do that for an hour.
Good.
And then, but then ideas come to me later on in the day, and events happen during. Now I'll give you an example. A young man, I bought an insurance policy from him. He was working for this place and not getting paid much. He got fired. He had no place to go. He was going to be homeless. I let him move in with me, but it was God's will. I've not let anybody live in my house in the 24 years I've lived here. It's just been me and the cats. But I let this guy live here, and he's 26 years old. He's a lot younger than me. He's a good kid, but he's just kind of lost. He's having a hard time finding his way. I felt God's power saying, you need to make an exception here. You need to do this. You need to let him live with you. I don't charge him a penny. He lives here for free, and he's got a job where he works selling insurance online. But I don't take any money from him, and it's to get him on his feet so he can sustain himself. That's the goal.
See,
this is just something that came from. That's just something that came from God. But I get other little things that happen that come out of the woodwork. I haven't heard from the Panditjis in a while. I mean, I see them at the temple, but they've not asked me for anything. But all of a sudden, I get a couple of calls. They need help moving something.
Yeah.
And these are calls from God. These are examples, but they happen all the time.
Yeah. See, the thing is, this can
Those
happen.
are just karmas.
No, okay. What you're saying can happen to several people. What we are saying here is Upāsanā. In realization state, knowledge will be very close to complete in terms of God is talking to you completely. There is no way you can miss God. So there's that is a much higher level of knowledge.
I don't hear voices in my head, of God talking to me.
Okay, let's do.
I don't know if that's what, but I have one question. Okay. I have one question, and I'll go away.
Okay.
I one question. You said that people go in this Samādhi state that you're talking about, and they can't do any actions, no karmas, nothing. Well, how long do they stay in that state? I mean, because you've got to eat, you've got to do. But,
no, very good question.
I mean, is that? And they can't come back. They'll probably die from starvation or something.
Very good question. Excellent question. Some people can, rishis can stay for a long time. For example, go look at internet. You don't look at TV. Go to your computer, internet, search.
I do that.
Search for a person. Recently, last week, a Jain monk stayed without food for 6 months. That's a world record he had recently. So it's happening all the time. So what?
Okay.
According to what do you call the old saying about Nammalvar, he says he went to Samādhi and did not come back for 6 months.
Okay, well, that answers my question. I just want to say one more little thing.
How would they live?
I don't expect to get to that.
They can live by air.
Sure. I'm clear with that. I'm just saying, for me, I live day to day under God's will. I try to please Him, and whatever happens. If I get to that point, it'll be just God's will. It's not. Correct. I have no other aspirations than one thing, and that is to please God. That's it. That's my entire life.
I think you're going in the perfectly right way. Perfectly right way. Why don't we take you later?
It's a destination, it's a journey, not a destination. It's a journey. Perfect. I don't know when it could go on for infinite lifetime.
Why don't we do one thing? Let's continue the class. I will talk to you separately. Okay.
I didn't want to take up so much time. I apologize. My sincere apologies.
No problem. No.
But I just wanted to kind of clarify that and just give some of the things that have been going on. And that's where I'm at. So thank you for this is perfect. Thank you. God bless you.
See, the thing is, what Andam Tamah Pravishanti, here we talk about Sambhūti, Asambhūti, right? And Sambhūti, Asambhūti form the portion called Anugraha Upāsanā. What does it mean? That we will take up a little bit later today. Now, Sambhūti, Asambhūti doesn't stop in the Īśāvāsya Upaniṣad. After Sambhūti, Asambhūti is mentioned, prayers are mentioned. This is the continuation of the Upāsanā. There is a request by the, we already went through this particular thing, right? There will be requests saying that, please help me, take away the obstruction so that I can see you. And that becomes Anugraha Upāsanā, Yosa Purusha Soham Asmi. That aspect becomes Anugraha Upāsanā. Then the aspirant talks about the 3 stages, Vayu, Ranilam, Amritam, these 3 stages, and the death of the body. And then he says that, okay, if the death of the body occurs, what can I do? Please help me. Remember what I have read, remember what I have read. This is against a prayer. This is again a prayer. Kritasmara. Please remember, O Lord. Then last comes Agnenaya Supatharaye Asman Vishwani Deva Vayunani Vidvan Yuyodhi Asmat Juhurana Meno Bhuyishtantena Mahuktim Vidhema. Here it is total Śaraṇāgati or total surrender. Bhuyishtantena Mahuktim Vidhema. This is surrender. So, till the last part, that person, that meditator is surrendering. He says that there are so many paths. Juhuranam yeno, and the matter is attacking me, and then the sorry, my throat is bad today. The matter is crooked, and the power of matter I am not able to get out of. Supataraye, take me in the right paths. And the yogis know right path means the right nadis in the body and also beyond. So Śaraṇāgati is indicated till the last. That is the Bhagavad Gītā, the Īśāvāsya Upaniṣad. And well, is Śaraṇāgati indicated at the end of the Bhagavad Gītā? Sure, yes. Sarvadharman parititya mamekam sharanam praja. It is there. So how can you deny all this as a path in the Upāsanā? You cannot deny all these things. That is highlighted in the next few slides. And that should be the meaning we need to keep in mind. Before you understand Pratibodha Viditam Matam, Amritatvam hi Mindate, that you should not forget what is in the past. You cannot cook up ideas in between and say this is what it means. No. Sambhūti is not just Samādhi, it means Samichina Bhuti. There is a wealth, the glory. Atma Anubhava, that is actually Atma Anubhava, experience of self. Sambhūti does not make it for liberation, and it cannot be practiced independently. It must be supplemented by asambhūti or surrender. You give up a lot, give up everything, then sambhūti becomes correct. The practice of yoga, dharana, dhyana, samadhi, as one ascends from meditation to samadhi, it must be done with the understanding that the self has absolutely no independence. Even the goal, I don't know what the right goal is. Path, goal, everything is surrender. That has to be understood. So Sampath Iyengar concludes regarding Sambhūti Asambhūti. The proper form of meditation must therefore include the surrender of even this final feeling that mukti is one's own. Mukti is not my property. You should give up the idea that mukti is my property. This element seems to be absent in Shankara's philosophy. I would say it is absent in the modern understanding of Shankara's philosophy. It is there in his words. Śaraṇāgati is mentioned in the Bhagavad Gītā Bhashya. So Śaṅkarācārya understands this. But if the modern Advaita thinkers don't give priority to what Śaṅkarācārya said. But definitely, I am Brahman because mukti is my right becomes a little bit normal for them. And that is what Sampath Iyengar is saying, that could end in a little bit of a problem. So he says the positive blissfulness that can be experienced beyond Śaṅkarācārya's aparoksha or apperceptive level is what samadhi will end up being. The higher experience is possible only if the feeling of integralness of mukti, that mukti is given to you or reserved for you, even that has to be surrendered to the Lord. That's important. So the preliminary experience, which retains the sense of being an experiencer of the self, that means the experiencer is still alive and he feels. That is Anugraha Upāsanā mentioned in the Chandogya Upanishad. So Sambhūti is mentioned in this context. And Asambhūti is giving up retarding feelings. Independence is one of the feeling, ambition for identity and desire for absoluteness. All these things should be given up. That we have covered earlier. We are trying to remember now. So there are three courses in the verses 12 to 14. Vinasha is Asambhava, Sambhūti is Sambhava, Vidyā is there. Why is Vidyā there? Because in the 9, 10, 11, Avidyā was discussed. That Vidyā continues. Vidyā continues beyond all this. Vidyā is a continuous meditation. The first two, Vinasha and Sambhūti, form a composite process of self-realization and self-experience. So Vinasha leads to self-atma avalokana, knowing or meeting the self. Sambhūti is self-experience, atma anubhava. But divine assistance is essential in both these processes, even more so to succeed in Vidyā eventually. So the Vidyā will end up in Śaraṇāgati. That's what Sampath Iyengar is trying to hint at. And that you don't forget from even Bhagavad Gītā. So the prayer given in verses Īśāvāsya 15 to 18 is related to this Śaraṇāgati, marking the conclusion of Īśāvāsya Upaniṣad. In the initial stages of Anugraha Upāsanā, self exists in its materialistic form, connected to this matter, mind, body. During Upāsanā, self perceives itself as God in a form that is very agreeable to its understanding. You can, when you pure separate out from matter, even Jivatma appears like God. Now we come to the connection of Kena Upaniṣad. Why? In this particular section in Kena Upaniṣad, the student is saying, I don't understand so much. We still, after meditation also, we don't understand. And this still have to be contemplated upon. One must believe the Veda and derive the correct understanding of God from it. If studied independently, by ignoring statements like Ekam Sat Vipra Bahuda Vadanti, one different rishis talk differently about one Brahman, and Tadvishnoho Paramam Padam, that is the supreme board of Viṣṇu. The Samhita and Brahmana portions of the Veda suggest henotheism. In many times in the Vedas, some particular deity is prayed, though he is the highest and everything like that, right? There are henotheism means there are many gods. That is henotheism. But Bodhayana says of all the thing in the Vedas, what is mentioned is Viṣṇu. In the Brahmana section, Hari or Viṣṇu is the Brahman of the Upanishads. That is mentioned by Bodhayana. And only through the grace of that supreme deity, one can succeed in Upāsanā. So there are many, there could be many deities, but the true Anugraha or grace should come from the supreme deity. It cannot come from a lower deity, because that may not work for you. And that supreme deity is Viṣṇu, and known as Vasudeva and Nārāyaṇa. So this Śaṅkarācārya also says this Vasudeva in the Bhagavad Gītā Bhashya particularly. This Viṣṇu, Vasudeva, Nārāyaṇa should be meditated upon, must be meditated upon. He says in the second chapter, 61 verse, Matparaha aham Vasudevaha sarva pratyagatma paro yasya saha matparaha na anyoham tasmat iti asita ityartaha. So thing is, Vasudeva should be meditated upon. He says in the second chapter, 61. Gītā verse 647. Madgatena antaratmana yoginamapi sarvesham Śaṅkarācārya says Rudradityadi dhyanapāranam madhye madgatena mayi vasudeve samahitena antaratmana antahkaranena. So thing is, who focuses on Vasudeva? Me. That's what Śaṅkarācārya says even in that verse. And yoginamapi sarvesham. Any question? So among all other worshippers of other deities, who worships Vasudeva, he says that. In the 7th chapter, 17th verse, Śaṅkarācārya says, Tesham Chaturnam Madhye Jnani Tattvavit Nityayuktaha Bhavati Eka Bhaktischa Anyasya Bhajaniyasya Adarshanaat Atasaha Eka Bhakti Vishishyate. So there is no other worthy of worship. He says that. Vasudeva Sarvam, in the same, that is 19, that's 2 shlokas after that. Yes, Evam Sarvatmanam Mam Nārayaṇam Pratipadyate. What else do you want? Clearly he mentions, Śaṅkarācārya mentions surrender to Nārāyaṇa. who is Sarvatma, who is the inner controller of everyone. So Śaṅkarācārya's view of bhakti and surrender is very clear. There is no doubt about it. In Nārāyaṇa Stuti, which is a shloka by Śaṅkarācārya, he says, Divya dhuni makarande parimala paribhoga satchidanande Shripati padara vinde bhava bhaya khedachide vande Satyapi vedapagame natha tavaham namama kīnastvam samudro hi tarangaha kvachana samudro na tarangaha. He says, in the first verse, it is clearly Shripati, Sriman Nārāyaṇa. Bhava bhaya khedachide. That means all fears of this universe is gone. I surrender, I bow down to you. And he says in the next one, even though there is no difference between you and me, Natha tavaham na mama kinasvam. I belong to you, you don't belong to me. Samudrohi tarangaha. The waves belong to the ocean, but the ocean does not belong to the waves. It's very clear, right? In all these things, his respect and bhakti to Bhagavan Nārāyaṇa is unquestionable. I should say his degradation of bhakti as a slightly lower than jnana is only just language. He didn't mean it in a way. But I think that the prior Buddhist students and the later Buddhist students who joined Advaita started taking a different view of Śaṅkarācārya's philosophy, I think. Śaṅkarācārya even further emphasizes the value of Anugraha or grace, right? In the Brahma Sutras, Parattu Tachrutehe 2.41. Parattu Tachrutehe. That means in that particular sutra, it talks about Ishvara. Everything comes from Ishvara. That Paramātmā is Karmadhyaksha. He is the Sarvabhutādivāsa. That is, he is inside everybody. He is Sakshin. This is Śaṅkarācārya Bhashya we are talking about. He is the Sakshin. He is the witness. He is the indweller and he powers us. He is the life giver. And only because of his orders can we attain anything called this agency, experience. How do we experience? All these things comes because of his orders. Tad anugraha hetu kenaiva cha vijnanena moksha siddhir bhavatum arhati. Only with the grace of that art. Only. Kenaiva means only. Only with the grace and with knowledge, moksha will happen. It is very clear. And clearly says, there are other Shrutis also which support this. Esha heva sadhu karma karayati tam yamebhyo lokebhyo uninishyate. Esha heva asadhu karma karayati tam yamadho vininishati. Kaushitike Upanishad. And atmanitishtan atmana mantro yamayati. This is also in the Upanishads, in the Antaryami Brahmana of Chandogya, I think. So the thing is, Śaṅkarācārya's insistence on grace is unmistakable. No question about it. And if people devalue the grace or devalue Ishvara's grace, then it is their misunderstanding of Śaṅkara Bhashya. Now, we'll come to Sampatangar's view and take this further tomorrow. We already passed an hour now. So we will take this tomorrow, same time. Yeah, I think 8 to 9, within an hour, I should be able to complete the meaning of Pratibodha Viditam. So far, everything is okay. Just ask me if there are any questions so far. Was this useful or was this already very well known to you earlier?
Very useful song.
That shows 3 weeks means we forget something, right? Because we have covered many of this. We forget. That's why we had to bring it to our focus. Otherwise, we will not understand. Any other questions, comments?
These are very useful. And, like I when I listen, like the same lecture again and again, it makes much more sense to me. So
Perfect. Perfect. That happens. Good thing that you are listening. That's great because this manana is very important. And
Thank you.
one more thing is, for every 1 or 2 classes, I work several days to put this information together. I take it from my, just a second. I'll show. I'm actually share. No, it's not here. 1 second. Hold on. Let me share the. Wow, it's interesting. I'm unable to share here. 1 second. Anyway, just a second. Wow, I'm not able to find where to stop sharing. It's not allowing me. Okay, forget it. I take from my grandfather's notes, analyze, check, validate, look at so many other books to do this preparation. So it's taking a long for me because I want to be clear when I do it and I don't want to make errors. Anyway, thanks. Asmat Gurubhyo Namaha, Asmat Parama Gurubhyo Namaha, Asmat Sarva Gurubhyo Namaha, Shri Krishna Parabrahmane Namaha, Shri Lakshmi Narasimha Parabrahmane Namaha, Shri Lakshmi Hayavadana Parabrahmane Namaha, Sarvam Shri Krishna Parabrahmane.
Thanks.